66 million years ago, across the ancient plains of North America, the ground trembled beneath the footsteps of a giant predator. It was Tyrannosaurus rex, the most fearsome icon of the dinosaur age, armed with teeth powerful enough to crush bone. But standing before it was not a weak prey animal trying to run away. From the golden dust, a creature weighing several tons slowly emerged, its head lowered like a living fortress. On its face were 3 sharp horns, along with a massive bony frill that looked like an ancient shield. This was Triceratops, one of the most famous herbivorous dinosaurs, and one of the last great creatures before the end of the Cretaceous period. So was Triceratops truly just prey for T.Rex, or was it a 3-horned warrior that even the tyrant king had reason to fear? Triceratops is one of the most famous names in the world of dinosaurs. Its name means 3-horned face, referring to the 3 distinctive horns on its skull. This dinosaur lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 68 to 66 million years ago. At that time, the land that is now western North America was part of an ancient continent called Laramidia. Triceratops belonged to a group of herbivorous dinosaurs known as ceratopsians, recognized for their large skulls, strong beaks, long horns, and bony frills behind their heads. It could grow to around 8 to 9 meters in length, and weigh between 6 and 10 tons. What makes Triceratops especially remarkable is that it appeared very close to the time when the dinosaurs went extinct. Because of this, it was not only a symbol of defensive power, but also one of the final witnesses of the dinosaur age. From a distance, Triceratops looked like a biological tank moving slowly across an ancient plain. Its body was low, long, and incredibly sturdy, with 4 powerful legs like pillars supporting its enormous weight. A fully grown individual could reach around 8 to 9 meters in length, almost as long as a small bus. Its weight could reach between 6 and 10 tons, equal to several African elephants combined. But the most impressive feature was not its body, but the gigantic head at the front. The skull of Triceratops could be more than 2 meters long, making up a huge portion of its entire body. At the front of its mouth was a hard, curved, and sharp beak, helping it grip, tear, and pull plants. Its back was slightly arched, its tail was not very long, and its movement was heavy but steady. Each step of Triceratops could send dust rising around ferns and low shrubs. It did not need to run fast to be terrifying. Its size, weight, and fortress-like appearance alone were enough to make many predators think twice before attacking. The 3 horns and the massive neck frill are the features that made Triceratops an icon. On its head were 2 long horns growing above the eyes, pointing forward like natural spears. The 3rd horn, shorter than the others, sat on its nose, creating an unmistakable face. Behind the skull was a broad bony frill, extending outward like a shield protecting the neck and shoulders. For many years, people believed these structures were mainly used for defense against large predators. With its 2 long horns, Triceratops could turn a head-on charge into an extremely dangerous counterattack. But modern science suggests the story may be far more complex. The horns and frill were likely also used to recognize members of its own species, display strength, attract mates, or compete for status. Some fossils show signs of healed injuries on the skull, suggesting that Triceratops may have clashed with one another. So the head of Triceratops was not just a weapon. It was also a symbol of power, identity, and survival in the dinosaur world. If there is one confrontation that has made Triceratops legendary, it is surely the imagined battle with Tyrannosaurus rex. These 2 dinosaurs lived at the same time, appearing together in the ecosystems of late Cretaceous North America. T.Rex was a gigantic predator, armed with a powerful skull and a bite capable of crushing bone. But Triceratops was not easy prey. With a body weighing several tons, a massive head, and two long horns pointing forward, it could become an extremely dangerous opponent. A direct charge from Triceratops could make any predator pay a heavy price. Fossils also show that Tyrannosaurus once left tooth marks on Triceratops' bones. Because of this, their relationship may have included hunting, scavenging, and deadly encounters. Although it looked like a warrior, Triceratops was actually a herbivorous dinosaur. Its low head allowed it to easily reach plants growing close to the ground. Its diet may have included ferns, shrubs, leaves, and ancient plants with tough, fibrous stems. At the front of its mouth was a deep, narrow beak, well suited for gripping, tearing, and pulling vegetation. Inside its jaws, Triceratops had hundreds of teeth arranged in clusters, working like a biological grinding machine. These teeth did not last forever, but were continuously replaced throughout its life. Thanks to this, Triceratops could process huge amounts of rough plant material every day. It did not need to hunt in order to be powerful. In its world, simply eating enough to fuel a body weighing several tons was already a battle for survival. In many films, Triceratops is often portrayed as a dinosaur that lived in large herds across ancient plains. That image is impressive, but the fossil evidence tells a more cautious story. Most Triceratops fossils have been found as isolated individuals, rather than in massive bone beds. This means scientists cannot yet say for certain that they regularly lived in large herds. However, that does not mean Triceratops was always alone. Some discoveries involving multiple individuals, especially including juveniles, suggest that they may have moved in small groups or family units. In a world where T.Rex was lurking, staying close to others could have been an advantage. Perhaps Triceratops was not a dinosaur of giant herds, but a warrior that sometimes relied on others to survive. One of the most fascinating mysteries surrounding Triceratops is its relationship with Torosaurus. Torosaurus also lived during the late Cretaceous, and looked quite similar to Triceratops, but it had a longer frill with large openings in it. Because of these similarities, some paleontologists once proposed a bold hypothesis. Perhaps Torosaurus was not a separate species, but a fully mature form of Triceratops. According to this idea, as Triceratops grew older, its skull and frill may have continued to change dramatically. But not all scientists agree. Many other studies suggest that Torosaurus and Triceratops should still be considered two separate groups. To this day, this debate continues to make Triceratops one of the most fascinating dinosaurs in modern science. During the late Cretaceous, Triceratops walked through a world that was both familiar and moving closer to disaster. The vast plains of North America were still full of life, with forests, rivers, swamps, and countless ancient creatures. Alongside Triceratops lived Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurus, small mammals, ancient birds, and even the terrifying shadow of Tyrannosaurus rex. There was no sign that these creatures knew their age was about to end. Triceratops still grazed, moved across the lowlands, and protected itself with its weight, horns, and survival instincts. But then, around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid came crashing down to Earth. That impact darkened the sky, drastically changed the climate, and caused food chains to collapse across the planet. The non-avian dinosaurs, no matter how powerful they were, could not withstand a catastrophe on a global scale. And in the dust of history, Triceratops disappeared along with the world it once dominated. But its fossils remain, reminding us that even the mightiest creatures can become memories of the Earth. Triceratops was not the fastest dinosaur, nor was it the most terrifying predator. But it was one of the most powerful symbols of the dinosaur age. With its massive body, 3 sharp horns, and shield-like neck frill, Triceratops represented the ultimate form of defensive strength. It reminds us that in nature, survival does not belong only to those who know how to attack. Sometimes, survival belongs to creatures that know how to stand their ground, fight back, and defend their place. In the dangerous world of the late Cretaceous, Triceratops lived like a breathing fortress. And although it disappeared 66 million years ago, the image of this 3-horned warrior still lives on in the imagination of humankind.